Who doesn't love a good mystery? The planet is dotted with places that are surreal, eerie, and sometimes downright bizarre. And while many of this mysterious goings-on have logical explanations, others remain stubbornly unsolved. From the Lake Michigan time portal to the waterfall with an eternal flame, here are 10 mysterious places that need to be explained. Number 10. Lake Michigan Triangle. No list of strange places can be complete without the infamous Bermuda Triangle. However, while everyone's heard of Bermuda, there's an even more mysterious aquatic triangle in Lake Michigan. The lore started in 1891 when a wooden ship hauling lumber and 7 sailors disappeared without a trace. Literally, not even a single piece of wood was ever found, despite a thorough search. The eeriest of the odd stories is that of the LABELLE, a ship containing 11 people that was empty and overturned when it was finally discovered in 1921. The ship contained damage that would indicate a collision with another vessel, but there were no other reports of accidents at the time or other wreckage found. The boat had also been rebuilt after a similar incident years before. This and other mysteries led people to claim that the triangle contained a time portal or that alien craft inhabited the waters. Whatever might be going on there, to this day, ship captains do their best to avoid the triangle. Number 9. Door to Hell. This is the one that looks and sounds immensely scary, which it is. According to a geologist, Soviet engineers had originally thought that the place has been a sizable oil field. They proceeded to set up a drill and started an operation to assess the amount of oil. They soon found out that this was not indeed an oil site, but rather it turned out to be a natural gas pocket. The floor collapsed under the camp, burying both the camp and the drill in the crater. Thankfully, nobody has lost their lives in the accident. The engineers noticed that poisonous gases were releasing and decided to burn them off so no one in the surrounding towns would be hurt. The estimate on how long it would burn was a few weeks at most, but it's been burning since 1971. It is also expected to keep on burning. The reason for the decade-long burning is still not known to scientists. The locals dubbed it the Door to Hell, as this site is a terrifying thing to behold. Number 8. The NASCA lines. Peru is filled with mysteries, but this one has surprised scientists the most over the years. If you ever fly over the high desert of southern Peru in a plane, you will witness the landscape change as lines take shape to form simple geometric designs like trapezoids, straight lines, rectangles, triangles, and swirls. Some of the swirls and zigzags start to form more distinct shapes like a hummingbird, a spider, and a monkey. These are the renowned NASCA lines, which is the subject of great mystery for over 80 years. How were they formed? What purpose could they have served? And were aliens involved? No one knows the answers to these questions. In total, there are over 800 straight lines, 300 geometric figures, and 70 animal and plant designs, also called biomorphs. Some of the straight lines run up to 30 miles, while the biomorphs range from 15 to 365 meters in length. For context, that is as large as the Empire State Building. Number 7. MARFA lights. Ghosts, UFOs, fairies, for more than 100 years, onlookers have tried to identify the twinkling lights that appear at night outside the tiny town of MARFA in West Texas. Appearing as bright, colorful orbs pulsating or darting through the dark and wide Texas skies, the MARFA lights have captivated everyone from cowboys to actor James Dean, who saw them while filming the movie Giant. What the lights are and how they're created remains a mystery, but the town celebrates them every year at its annual MARFA Lights Festival. Number 6. The Lake ANJIKUNI. This is one of the most terrifying places you'll ever hear about, so hang on tight. One bitter night in November 1930, an exhausted Canadian fur trapper named Joe LaBelle sought refuge from the cold and inadvertently stumbled across one of history's most remarkable mysteries. The once industrious Inuit village on the shores of Lake ANJIKUNI that LaBelle had seen throughout his travels had vanished without a trace. Where in previous visits he had enjoyed the warmth and company of a busy and bustling community, Now there was only an empty village. Upon investigation, he found fires still burning, food stocks intact, and the villagers' belongings in place. Yet, as this search continued, it became clear that the people of Lake ANJIKUNI had vanished. But there was also something stranger and more sinister going on. Even the dead had disappeared from their graves. That began as one of Canada's most remarkable mysteries, one that continues to haunt the vast northern wilderness to this day. Number 5. Island of Socotra. Off the coast of Yemen, there is an island that looks like an alien planet. Known as the Socotra Island, or the Biblical Garden of Eden, its endangered flora is unique due to the remote location's isolation, temperature extremes, and arid conditions. A third of its plant life can be found nowhere else on Earth. Fortunately, 70% of the island has been set aside as a national park. Some of the plants look like turnips planted upside down. The island's bottle tree, adapted to store water in a dry climate, has a thick trunk, and its few limbs, thick near the trunk, give rise to clusters of much thinner branches ending in thick clumps of green leaves. There are also mushroom-like trees there. The island has huge caves that are homes to bats, the only mammals native to Socotra. Messages in a variety of languages have been carved into the cave's walls. Researchers attribute them to sailors who stayed on the island between AD 1 and AD 6. The residents of the mysterious island are also unique. They all have a DNA haplogroup possessed by no other people on Earth. In 2008, UNESCO named Socotra a World Heritage Site. Number 4. San Luis Valley. The San Luis Valley Desert in southern Colorado is so mysterious, it even has its own Google map, highlighting various paranormal activity that's been reported there. A flying humanoid was spotted in the desert in 2009. There have been many Bigfoot sightings over the years, and much more. This otherwise beautiful valley has been inhabited by humans, or aliens, for thousands of years. One indication of this is the snaking stones of unknown origin that measure hundreds of feet long and contain rocks so enormous it would take a well-coordinated effort to place them. But perhaps the weirdest feature isn't otherworldly at all, it's just bizarre. The northern part of the valley floor contains the 40-square-mile Great Sand Dunes National Park and Preserve, which features the world's tallest sand dune at 228 meters. Geologists have a hard time explaining the origin of the sand, and adding to the intrigue is the fact that the sand is some of the purest silica on Earth. Number 3. Island of the Dead Dolls. In Mexico, there's a very popular island, but it's not inhabited by people. In fact, it is home to hundreds of old, dead dolls. Yes, you heard that right. Of course, the dolls were never alive, yet they've been made to look dead with paint and gouged eyes. Tourists flock here every year to get a fright and a good sighting of this island. It's a very popular Halloween spot, believe it or not. The locals state that there are ghosts lurking around the waters, ready to jump into your body and possess you. However, you may find that the dolls themselves are scarier than any demons or spiritual beings. There's a popular story behind this island. There was once a man who lived there. He found a little girl in the nearby lake who had met the tragic fate of death. There was a doll lying near the girl. To give tribute to the dead, the person hung the doll on the tree. He believed the soul wasn't at rest, so he bought more dolls to hang there. We don't know if the story is true, but even though the tradition of hanging dolls there comes from the heart, it is still quite frightening.
Before we move on, I've got a little challenge for you that'll take 5 seconds to complete. So here's the deal. You just leave a like on this video, smash that subscribe button, and hit the notification bell, and you'll get 25 years of amazing luck. Try it. It really works.
And with that, it's now time for today's subscriber pick. Today's photo was sent to us by one of our subscribers. If you come across a photo online and want to know more details about it, just send it on over to us. Who knows? We might even feature it on a future video. Number 2. HUNGA, TONGA. An explosion rocked the Pacific Kingdom of Tonga in 2014, and an undersea volcano belched out enough ash and rock to create a whole new island lined with cliffs some 121 meters tall. named HUNGA Tonga HUNGA Ha'api. The new island wasn't expected to last long. Most newborn islands disappear in just a couple of months, as this one was predicted to do. However, the island is an unusual survivor. A 2017 analysis by NASA revisited the island's life expectancy to between 6 and 30 years. The surface of the island is very different from other islands, as it has a lake and the surrounding is covered with mud. Seabirds have started visiting the island, and flowers have also grown in the nearby areas. Scientists haven't been able to identify what's keeping the island intact and preventing it from sinking. Number 1. Eternal Flame Falls. If you follow the route to Shale Creek in New York's Chestnut Ridge Park, you'll find a strange orange-red light glowing behind a waterfall that looks like something out of a fairy tale. Sounds too cool to be true, right? The glow is kept aflame by natural methane gas that seeps through cracks in the rocks. Scientists don't know how the methane seeps out from the surface, considering the fact there aren't any methane reserves nearby. It's occasionally extinguished by splashes, but visitors can bring it back to life with a lighter. The eternal flame is a pretty amazing natural phenomenon that may not be too mysterious, but it's very cool nonetheless. Which one of these places would you like to visit? Let us know in the comment section below, and if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.